Cookbook is in the building. The show you listen to is really dope. Platform collection's what I'm sitting on. And we the type that gon' drop what you want every pod. We gon' give you gems, help you right all your wrongs. The show you listen to is really dope. Platform collection's what I'm sitting on. And we the type that gon' drop what you want every pod. We gon' give you gems, help you right all your wrongs. Entertainment at its finest. Here to remind us we can rise above the dryness. Rely on mind states that'll find us at our highest. Vibrate like timers till we blow up in our lives, bro. We live exciting lives, bro. Don't buy into the lies, we keep it true and living. One life to live, don't waste what you've been given. Face the tears and fears and tear through to the pinnacle. Keep pushing through boundaries till masses reaching critical. The show you listen to is really dope. Platform collection's what I'm sitting on. And we the type that gon' drop what you want every pod. We gon' give you gems, help you right all your wrongs. The show you listen to is really dope. Platform collection's what I'm sitting on. And we the type that gon' drop what you want every pod. We gon' give you gems, help you right all your wrongs. The show you listen to is really dope. Platform collection's what I'm sitting on. And we the type that gon' drop what you want every pod. We gon' give you gems, help you right all your wrongs. The show you listen to is really dope. Platform collection's what I'm sitting on. And we the type that gon' drop what you want every pod. We gon' give you gems, help you right all your wrongs.
Yeah, y'all. What's really good in your hood? It's your boy, Cookbook, Jason Soto. Jason Soto was here. Jason Soto is here. And you are now listening to Really Though, Season 2, Episode 4. We in the building, y'all. So much is going on, man. Like I said, Jason Soto was here. Hashtag Jason Soto was here. We working on that final album, y'all. I'm very excited, man. Just more and more songs are coming out. This album is heartfelt, man. It's me pouring everything I got into it, but I'm also having a lot of fun, you know, giving you what you want, giving you what you need. And then I'm going to do a mic drop and be out this bitch, man. But yo, shout out to my peoples, Platform Collection. Platformcollection.com is a fine network of podcasts. There's wonderful things on the website, videos, music, new music. It keeps you up to date on everything that's fresh, bro. If you want to be fresh, bro, you need to go to platformcollection.com, bro. And totally follow all the podcasts too, bro. You know what I'm talking about? There's one podcast in particular I'd like to talk to you guys about. And it's a little podcast called Felipe's Garage. Some of you may have heard of Felipe's Garage. It's a podcast that Merce and I started. Shout out to my man Merce. Well, I'm happy to announce that the triumphant return of Felipe's Garage is on the horizon, y'all. Me and Merce, we get into it, man. We talk hip-hop. We talk nerd stuff, you know, like the latest Star Wars, the latest Avengers, all that comic book, sci-fi shit. And, you know, we might even throw in some dad shit, man, for all you dads out there, man. But we basically touch on pop culture. We're going to be getting into his... for those of you who might have been listening or checking out his Hip Hop DX breakdowns, I'm going to start breaking down his breakdowns right on our podcast. I might even try to break him down straight up. If I could break Merce down, then I think I'm going to go for it and try to break down his breakdown and break Merce down. So my whole goal for Felipe's Garage is to totally break Merce's spirit by the end of it. At the very end, he's like, I give up. So that's Felipe's Garage, man. It's coming back. I'm very, 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 very excited about that, man. You know, my man had to go. He had to go release a record. He had to go have a baby. He had to go lose a gang of sleep, which he's still kind of losing that sleep. And those of you who got kids, you know what I'm talking about. Single people with no kids, take a break. People with kids, you know what I'm talking about. That's Felipe's Garage. If you haven't heard episode 1, just go, go log into wherever you listen to podcasts at. Do a search for Felipe's Garage. Subscribe to that bitch and listen to episode 1 where I totally break Merce down again. We talked about The Walking Dead and he left crying. I swear to God, by the end of it, Merce is crying. You don't believe me? Go check it out. Something else I got going that I'm really excited about. I'm starting a new video series, y'all, on YouTube. Shout out to the homie Gadzooks. He's doing it with me. He's shooting it, editing it, and putting it all together. It's called L.A. Rican, and it's all about me being born in L.A., growing up as a Puerto Rican in L.A., just telling some funny stories, some reenactments and whatnot. You know what I mean? So first episode's about to drop, man. Me versus the Mexicans, man. We'll see how that goes, yo. I don't know if I'll win. I don't know if I'll lose. You'll just have to tune in and see. Yo, and something else I wanted to bring up. You know, I've been doing this podcast for over 2.5 years, or just about, you know what I mean? I love it. I love bringing you guys value. I love doing it and giving it to you guys for free. It's been an amazing journey for me, and the feedback that I get from you guys is priceless. I'm constantly getting hit up from you guys, and I really am very thankful and very appreciative to everybody who tunes into the podcast on a monthly basis. I'd like to go to 2 podcasts a month if I can. In the beginning, I used to do that. And if I can, I'm going to go back to that. But here's how you guys can help me. This podcast obviously is free. I don't have any sponsors. We're not running commercials. We're not doing any of that. But if you love the show, you love your Homeboy Cookbook, you want to support and you want to see me continue to be able to create and do things on a high level and bring you good quality content, whether that be music or more specifically what we're talking about right now, which is the podcast. Here's a way you guys can support me. Well, number one, you can share the podcast with people. You can subscribe to the podcast, and you can leave comments and rate it on iTunes, Stitcher, and everywhere else that you listen to podcasts. What that does for people like me is it brings that podcast more to the front, to the awareness, gets me on lists and gets me tracking better so people can find the show. Now, here's another really helpful way that you can support the podcast. And that is you can buy your very own Really Though t-shirt. If you go to my website, musicbycookbook.com, there's a link for merch. And I've got t-shirts up there, but I've got one in particular that is the bomb. It's the shit. It is the official Really Though t-shirt. And it's super dope. It's black with the yellow lettering that you see right on your, on the thumbnail of this podcast. And if you would be so kind as to go to musicbycookbook.com and purchase a t-shirt, you would directly be helping support the podcast. Anyway, shout out to my man E Green from last episode. Man, we had a great episode. We really got into talking about the littles and the phenomenon that is nowadays and the new rap and the disparity between the two. Plus, we did a great round of who wore it best. Man, if anything, just listen, fast forward to the end and check out who wore it best, man. It's one of the most popular segments I've done on this show in the whole 2 years. People love it. I get comments about that all the time, man. So we're definitely going to do more of that in the future. Anyway, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit today. It's just going to be me, no guests on the podcast. And I got some things running through my mind about legacy and about like the mark you leave on the earth, man, whether you do music or you're a photographer or you shoot video, you write script, whatever it is you do, man. I want to talk to you guys about legacy. So I'm going to drop this song right quick and we'll be back with that, man. Really though. Really though.
Really though.
Daddy, what's a will?
Yeah. Take those monies and spread across families. My sister Hattie and Lou, the nephews, cousins, and TT. Eric, the rest of B for whatever she wants to do. She might start an institute, she might put poor kids in school. My stake in Rock Nation should go to you. Leave a piece for your siblings to give to their children too. Titled as Champagne, do say I'd like to see a nice piece, fund ideas for people who look like we gon' start a society within society. That's major. It's like the Negro League. There was a time America wouldn't let us ball. Those times are now back. It's now called Afrotech. Generational wealth, that's the key. My parents ain't have shit, so that shift started with me. My mom took up money, she bought me bonds. That was the sweetest thing of all time. Legacy, 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 legacy. Black excellence, baby, you gon' let them see. Legacy, 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 legacy. Black excellency, baby, let them see. I remember like listening to Wu-Tang, and they like, your seed, marry his seed, marry my seed. That's how we keep Carter money all in the family. You see my father, son of a preacher man, whose daughter couldn't escape the reach of the preacher's hand. That charge of energy set all the Carters back. It took all these years to get to zero. In fact, I hated religion, cause here was this Christian. He was preaching on Sundays versus how he was living Monday. Someday I forgive him, cause strangely our division led to multiple religion I study. Muslim, Buddhists, and Christians, and I was running from him, but he was giving me wisdom. See how the universe works? It takes my hurt and help me find more of myself, skipping the curse. That's called the Red Queen's race. You run this hard just to stay in place. Keep up the pace, baby, keep up the pace. You run this hard just to stay in place. Legacy, 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 legacy. Black excellence, you gon' let them see. Legacy, 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 legacy. Black excellency, baby, let them see.
Yes, I love that song. Anyway, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna just be totally honest with you guys. I recorded that intro that you just heard like 2 weeks ago, and I had every intention of coming right back to this, recording this podcast for you guys and getting it out way before now. But as life is, you know, I had to prioritize some things. And unfortunately, this episode kept kind of getting put to the back burner. But today is May 30th, and I didn't want to leave the month without you hearing from me. I like to at least bring you one a month, right? And if I miss a month, it really bugs me. And since it's just me all alone today, I figured there should be no problem just talking to you guys a little bit, man. And so, yeah, let's get into it, man. You know, maybe it's because I'm just getting older. Maybe it's I've been doing this so long. Maybe it's because I'm doing my last album. But whatever it is, I've been really thinking about your legacy, or my legacy, I should say. I've been really thinking about the impact that you make on the planet, the mark that you leave. You know, they always say like, you know, there's those two moments, your birth and your death. And then there's the dash between those two dates. And the dash is the opportunity that you have to make your mark, to do your thing, to leave your legacy on this planet, to create, to contribute, to help. For as long as I can remember, I've been doing music not just for me. I've been doing it because I wanted to help people. You know, for a long time I didn't know exactly what that meant or what that was. When I first started rapping, you know, rap was the music of my youth, but I started rapping Christian rap because I had a desire at that time to help people. And my outlook and my worldview as it was being shaped at the time had to do with church, God, and I felt that the true way that I could help people and I could contribute to my God and my religion was by using my voice and my musical gifts that I've always had since I was a kid, since I was born, in service to the Lord. And as I've grown as a person, as my views have changed, as my religious views have changed, as my life views have changed, I haven't Christian rapped for a very, very long time. And maybe this is for another podcast, but we can debate on whether or not I was ever really a Christian rapper per se. I mean, I was a Christian rapper, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying like true intentions and truly understanding yourself and understanding what it is you're doing. Because it wasn't like I was rapping Jesus lyrics. You know, if you know LA Symphony, we were always doing just everyday life lyrics from a Christian perspective. But again, that's another podcast. I digress. So my viewpoints might have changed, but the one thing that never changed inside of me was that I just want to help people. You know, I've been through so much stuff in my life. I've been through so much stuff in my career. And the one constant has always been, how can I help others with my gifts, my talents, my viewpoint, whatever I have? How can I give it? How can I contribute? And so it took me a long time to kind of really hone in and figure out what it is that I'm good at. All of those things, even though you have a sense of it, a lot of times we don't stop and we don't really analyze and think about our gifts on a real deep and, you know, meaningful level. And that's part of what I do to help people now. You know, I started coaching, I started consulting artists, and I found a way to really contribute and help. But getting back to the music, you know, I had to really look back and say, even if it's just to bring somebody joy in that moment, or to, you know, they hear a dope beat, they hear a dope rhyme, and it brings them some sort of a good feeling. If I could help people even in that way, then that's what I want to do, man. And it always felt appealing to me. It always felt like the right thing. You know what I mean? And so here we are. We fast forward. I'm coming up on my last record. I'm recording it. And I'm doing all of these songs. And the overarching theme of the whole record is legacy. Is what's this mark that I've left on the community, on the hip-hop community, on the community at large, on the earth. And even if I am only influenced and helped a small group of people on this earth, 20 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people, whatever that number is, then I'm going to leave this, you know, hip-hop, this musician side of things, feeling good about what I did. If I had to leave today with what I've already been able to accomplish, I'm going to feel good about what I've done and what I've been able to accomplish. And especially from the side of being able to help and contribute to people's lives. I have had a lot of what you might perceive as failure in my life. You know, and again, we know that it's only a failure if you give up, if you quit, if you don't learn from it. Not only have I been able to learn from it, but I've been able to use my failures, use my shortcomings, use my setbacks, use my weaknesses to actually help people. And I used to feel like I couldn't help people from where I was at. I couldn't be a speaker, let's say, or go out and teach people the things I know if I didn't have a certain level of success to back me up. But one day, I have all these book ideas in my brain, and that's next on the agenda as far as like finishing my last album, moving on. I'm going to write books and do the things that all these other creative pursuits that I want, that I know can contribute to people's lives. And a number of years ago, I had this idea for a book, and then a book title came to me, and it was Memoirs of a Semi-Rap Star, How I Failed My Way to the Bottom. And I'm telling you guys, that book's not even written yet, but that book title alone, that set me free, because I realized that I could actually use my failures as a teaching point. Almost, I could use my life as a cautionary tale. I can say, don't do this, do this. Don't do what I did here. Here's what I've learned on what I should have done and what you can do now. And as soon as I had that little pivot, that little shift in my paradigm from that moment, it was around 2012 or even 2011 until now, I've been able to go on, create not only more music and do more in the music community and feel more confident about what I'm doing in the music community, but I was able to create a coaching and consulting business, a whole new aspect that has not only brought me income, but I've been able to help people, other artists, musicians, producers, rappers, and even other people in all walks of life. I've been able to help them to pursue their goals. And my motto has always been, if I can help somebody even just like take 1/4 the time, half the time, 1/16 of the time, 3/4 of the time that it took me to achieve the things that I've been able to achieve, then I'll feel like it's a victory. If I can shave off a little bit of time, your learning curve, and give you a little bit of my knowledge, give you a little bit of the wisdom from what I've learned, and you're able to achieve it even a tiny bit quicker than I was able to achieve it, then I feel like I've accomplished my thing. And the beauty of that is I've seen the results. I've seen right now, my coaching clients are winning, man. I got a coaching client that's just killing it right now. He set his goals. We set them together. We made a plan of attack, and he's all over like the blogs right now. His record's getting ready to do really well. I have another client who has been working with me for almost 2 years, and he's got a song that he wrote came out maybe like a month and a half ago, already has over 500,000 streams on Spotify and all the platforms and everything. So it's a beautiful thing, and I'm not taking credit for that, but I am saying that because I decided to make helping people be the number one part of my legacy, and because I stopped saying to myself, I'm a failure, and I started saying to myself, my failures are actually the things that people need to hear about. The things that I've made mistakes on are the things that have taught me the lessons that I have applied and been able to achieve things now on my own. Those are the same things that I give to people now. And my hope is that they can achieve things quicker, and I'm starting to see those results. Again, this is me talking about my legacy and what I want my legacy to be. So when I leave the game and when I leave the earth, I want people to remember that Cookbook, Jason Soto was here, and that because he was here, we are different. Because he was here and because he gave everything he had, whether he got paid or not, which I do like to get paid, guys, so don't get it twisted. We were able to do more. We're able to be more. We're able to see more for ourselves and our families. And, that's the type of legacy I want to leave. And on the other hand, when I say Jason Soto was here, when I think about my personal goals and my personal legacy I want to leave, my goals haven't changed. The things I want to, that I have made as benchmarks for success for myself, they haven't changed. But the second I had children and I had a family, my why changed. The reason why I was doing all of that changed. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to want things for yourselves, but it's a whole other thing to want the same successes, but because you now have children. It's very important to me to leave a legacy to my children, not only leave the money, which I am going to leave finances and resources for them so they can go out and achieve. More importantly, I want to leave the legacy of there's this blueprint of success, and our Father walked in that blueprint. We saw him fail, then we saw him succeed, then we saw him get big wins, and we have this blueprint. And we're raised up in just a way that we don't know nothing but how to succeed because of what our Father did. And it's basically the same way that I want to be for everybody else. Obviously, I want it more for my kids. Those are my kids. I want them to have all of it. But it's the same thing. It's like, I want you guys to see my life and just go, here, I can see all the things he did right. I can see all the things he did not so right. And I can see how he kept going. Never quit, never gave up, overcame challenges. And I seen him take steps up, level up here, there. You know, some things might have taken longer, some things might have gone quick for him, but that's the example I want to leave. So the example I leave and the blueprint I leave of how I live my life is what I want to leave as a legacy for my children. I have this line where I'm like, thank God for YouTube. It lets me last. You know, when I'm gone in the future, they'll watch my past. My grandkids will know that their granddaddy flowed and he made himself known to the farthest of lands. Like, I want to leave like my mark even in that, like whatever YouTube videos or these podcasts or all of this, like this digital footprint. I'm trying to release as much stuff, video content, audio content, all of these things that they can point to. So my grandkids, my great grandkids, if they want to know who the hell their dad was, their granddad, what I thought, what my beliefs were, what I felt about success, what I felt about life, it's all going to be here for them. That's going to be my legacy. You know, that's the beauty of social media, of the internet, of podcasting, videos, YouTube, all of those things. That's the beauty of it, is that depending on how you look at it, this is the legacy I can leave. This is the legacy you can leave, which does bring me to you. I don't want this to be all about me. I'm just trying to explain to you and give you sort of a pattern of like my thought pattern and what I think about my life and where I want it to go. But I want you to equate this to your life. What do you want to be your legacy? You're a rapper. That's cool. You're a beat maker. You're a producer. You're an actor. You're whatever you are. You're a cook, a chef. You're going to college. Whatever it is you're doing. The first question is, why are you doing it? What is your end goal? What do you really, really want? What do you want? I mean, what do you want? You want to just rap for a little bit while you're in college, get some chicks, drink some beers, hang out? That's okay. But think about the bigger picture of your life and how does rapping or making beats fit into it? Because if you can answer the question of why, of your why, what's your why? First of all, what do you want? And not just like now, like I want to party and chill. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want to be when you're 65 years old at the end of your career, or maybe 80, or whenever you decide to finish your career? What do you want to have? What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? You need to think about that. And then that'll be your rudder that you put in the water that aims you towards the direction. That's your legacy. That's what you want to leave. Like when you leave the earth, what do you want to be known for? And if rapping or doing music or singing or acting or writing scripts or, you know, working on the freaking, you know, working in a company or whatever the case may be, whatever it is, you need to answer those questions for yourself and don't waste time. Because you're creating your legacy right now. If you're 14 years old listening to me, if you're freaking 50 years old listening to me, there's always still time. And there's always this idea that you're creating your legacy. You're creating what you're going to leave behind for everybody else to see. I just want to be real with you guys. I just want to be honest. I want to be myself, 100% good, bad, ugly. I want to make people laugh. I want them to be entertained. I want to be 100% my freaking personality, all of those things, and all of those contribute to my legacy. What about you? What do you want it to be? What's your legacy? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to harp on this too much, man. I wanted this to be a short episode. So I'm going to leave it at that. I want you guys to tweet me or hit me on Instagram in the DMs or, you know, at Cookbook the PR, or email me, cookbookings@gmail.com. And I want you to answer these two questions to the best of your ability. Number one, what do you want? Number two, why do you want it? And number three, does those two answers fit into your overall, the legacy you want to leave for your entire life? I know it's big questions. If you're freaking 12 years old, you're like, dude, I'm just trying to skateboard and listen to some rap music. That's fine. You don't have to have all the answers. But if you can start answering that question when you're 12, you are going to be a hell of a lot more successful and ahead of the game than the guy who's trying to answer it and he's freaking 50 or 40 or 30 or 20. So it's never too early and it's never too late. Cookbookings@gmail.com or tweet me at cookbookthepr or on Instagram at cookbookthepr, any platform at cookbookthepr, Let me know what the answer to those 3 questions are. What do you want? Why do you want it? And how does it fit into the legacy of your life? And if you still don't understand some of the shit I'm talking about right now, email me that. Ask me the questions, please. But interact with me. If you like what you're hearing, please share this podcast. Go on to platformcollection.com. Check out all the other podcasts. There's so much great stuff going on. Felipe's Garage is back. Episode 2 already dropped too. Episode 3 will be out the same time as this episode. Please, 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 please go subscribe to Felipe's Garage. Subscribe to any of the other podcasts that you may like on platformcollection.com. But above all of that shit, answer those questions I asked you to answer, man. I got love. You know, I'm not clowning around today. It's not fun and games day today. I know. I wanted to be a little serious, man. It's been really on my mind a lot about this idea of legacy, about this mark that we're going to leave on the planet and what that mark means to us and to the people around us, whether that's the immediate people or the bigger group of people that is around us. So, I got love for you guys. Holla at your boy. This is Cookbook. You've been listening to a mini episode, a solo episode of Really Though, right here on Platform Collection. Get at me, dog. Cookbookings@gmail.com, at Cookbook the PR. Follow Felipe's Garage. Follow Really Though. Share these shows with all your homies. Please rate and review and let us know you like what we're doing, or let us know what you don't like about what we're doing, and we're going to change that shit. You know what I'm saying? Holla at your boy. Really Though. Really Though.
Really though.